All right, all right. Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. This is The Jam. I'm John Hanson alongside Felicia Lawrence and Amy
Hey,
Rutledge.
everybody. Good to see everybody. Got to start off with a little bit of sad news. Rock god, the guitar legend Eddie Van Halen has died at the age of 65. He has suffered from throat cancer for more than a decade. Sad news, somewhat unexpected, although not completely unexpected, but his health did decline rather rapidly in the last few days. So it's interesting because, this comes out and then we immediately turn to John and Felicia and we start talking about it and they go, who?
Okay, so I think that this is the strength of our show. We are a multicultural show of various different backgrounds. But once you started to explain who it was, Amy, and we can hear some of the music playing in the background now, I'm like, oh, okay, these are classic songs that transcend generations.
Yeah,
Okay, John, I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, who were the two top lead singers of Van Halen?
Van Halen and Eddie Sagar.
No, he said Van Halen doesn't sing. It's
I'm sorry, I
Hagar.
can only hear Van Halen in my ears, so sorry, I can't quite hear you.
It's Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth. We're kind of on rotation as the lead singers for a long time. So, I Panama.
I thought it was Cannonball for about 20 years. So it's good music. It's obviously sad news and a legend. And, when someone passes, it does give us an opportunity for people like me and Felicia, hey, explore a little bit of the work, appreciate it a little bit more, and learn something or two.
Yes,
totally.
True.
Okay. Hey, guys, this is pretty big news in Chicago today. The announcement that Second City is for sale. Of course, a legendary comedy spot in the Old Town neighborhood. They've also got shop up in Toronto, also on the West Coast, too. The owner's looking for, some extra investments. People are hopeful that it'll still remain the staple that it is. Look, this coronavirus pandemic has obviously hurt them like a lot of places. They've got a lot of teaching classes they've done online, and they do some corporate gigs, too. But I think just people are like, fingers crossed, like, don't mess with Second City too much.
Seriously.
Yeah. And I would imagine they probably want to keep a lot of it local if they can. I don't know if that's happened because they've turned to an LA investment bank. That doesn't really necessarily mean anything. But, you hear another city involved and you're like, what? Don't leave Chicago. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to happen. But
well, John, you just crossed your fingers. We're all crossed too. Just because they are a staple here in the city. I've only ever taken one class there, but they are just a huge part of, I guess, media and entertainment here in the city, and specifically comedy is what I think of.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, guys, by the way, in our chat window, I just saw one of our producers, our news producer, Alicia, send along that Stephen Miller testing positive for the coronavirus, another member of the White House team inside the building there to test positive. Stephen's wife actually had coronavirus a couple months ago. He's one of the key advisors to the president, wrote the inaugural speech for the president. And I don't know what the tally is, but that is just one more person inside that house that has come down and tested positive. Best wishes, all that, but the outbreak continues at 1600.
A lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, let's move on. There's a visual display that's getting a lot of attention in Uptown. The Grief Gate was created by the organization Just Embrace, and they are today's heroes of Chicago.
Just Embrace is a nonprofit hospitality house. We are a faith community. We have a worshiping community. Our goal is to use our home as a place of hospitality, generosity, and inclusivity. COVID happened, and we were no longer able to gather in our home and gather in our yard like we would. I saw our gate as just a perfect place to utilize that resource as a tool of community lament and community grief and community celebration of life. We as a community, when we lose someone that we love in our neighborhood, we make a poster with their picture and maybe a Bible verse and just a paragraph describing the impact that they had on our community and our family. And we tie that to our gate. And we leave it up for months because we want our neighborhood to mark the loss of life. I think it's important to us as humans. It's not like a value that we have that's unique. Like, that is an important part of the human experience, is to grieve and to mark the loss of those that we've loved around us. And so I got these ribbons, and I cut them all up, 4,000 ribbons I think we have on hand. And then we put markers out so that our neighbors could write the names of their loved ones that had passed, or their own thoughts or their prayers, or just anything that they were compelled to write as they stood in front of this gate with this visible indicator of how many sacred lives we've lost. What's next for Just Embrace is really, we just want to feel like we can stay and get back to throwing parties, get back to throwing events for our neighbors. I have no intentions of taking it down until COVID has passed and we've had sufficient time to really sit in our grief.
And if you know of a person or organization who is lifting spirits up during this pandemic, reach out to us via email at jamrealshy@wciu.com. But I love that she said it's about being human and marking that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that in the coming months, days, years, we're going to have to figure out some way to mourn properly as a community and as a country, all that we've lost. We've seen little pop-up ones here and there. And, this is obviously going to be something that sticks with us for a long time. I can imagine that at some point we'll have more conversations about permanent monuments and memorials, because it is so important to remember individuals, of course, but collectively the loss that we've suffered.
Do you know what I thought of when I saw it? When I was watching the package, I was like, it reminded me of the chain of locks in Paris. I mean, obviously a very different message, but it kind of had that same feel. I kind of loved that about it because it was so relatable and impactful, and it makes you remember that it touches so many people, right? So hopefully they can keep that going.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, guys, Hyde Park is being recognized as Chicago's first dementia-friendly neighborhood. Maxwell Evans detailed how this came about and what the area is trying to do in an article published today on Block Club Chicago. Thanks so much for joining us. And I gotta ask, have you ever heard of anything like this before? How did this all come about?
Yeah, and so actually the first time that I heard about this was for a separate story I was working on prior to the coronavirus pandemic, and it instantly caught my ears. Like, that's very interesting. I've got to keep track of this. And then coronavirus hits, and I didn't do such a great job of keeping track with it. But I'm very glad to have had the Chicago Hyde Park Village, the University of Chicago Memory Center, and the Share Network all reach out to me and let me know that months-long effort had finally come to fruition.
So what does it take to get that sort of classification?
No, so being named a dementia-friendly neighborhood is actually just the first step in this a long process. It kind of identifies that community members, that institutions in Hyde Park have all signed on to make the neighborhood more safe and friendly to people facing memory loss. So this is kind of the first step. There will be a community town hall held at some point this month with details to come. And then ramping up efforts to reach out to businesses, to reach out to other institutions in the community, and figure out ways to make them more friendly to people with dementia.
Yeah, I think this is just so inclusive. How do you think this makes caregivers feel when they talk a lot about people who have dementia? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't mention caregivers and the toll it takes on them.
And that's actually a really important part of this effort, is that it highlights some of the support groups that are in place for caregivers of people with dementia. And that's the partner organizations in this effort really highlighted that as being important. Obviously, dementia, memory loss, it can be a very taxing disease, not only on the person that has it, but on the people that have to take care of them. So it's very important for their mental health, for their safety, that they have resources available to them as well.
I got to ask you, and I'm sure you wonder too, as a journalist too, when you hear about something getting a designation of the thing, right? When it's one thing, do you ever get worried that all these other groups or other ethnicities or other things might get pushed out or away because that thing happens? I read in your article about like them possibly holding tables for people who are going to take longer to read the menu or something in the restaurant. But what if the restaurant's full and someone else needs this table? Like, how are they going to handle that balance?
No, all of that is what's going to be worked out in the coming weeks and months. As I said, this is just the first step to signify that Hyde Parkers are willing and able to come together over this issue. So a lot of the details, such as how restaurants will handle this, how banks will handle this, that's going to be worked out through a community input process that's going to begin with this month's town hall. So yeah, it's really a work in progress. it took quite a few months to even get the designation. And then, yeah, it'll be more months ahead of here as they continue to work these things out.
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing too is like, okay, Hyde Park took the first steps to do this. Now other neighborhoods are aware that this is a thing. And I imagine the goal is it's not just Hyde Park, but this starts to spread to other neighborhoods too.
Yeah.
Yes, and the organizers of the Hyde Park effort actually indicated a couple of other neighborhoods are taking their first steps on the first step. So this news is obviously getting out there. They encouraged residents of all neighborhoods across Chicago to explore ways of making their neighborhoods more dementia friendly. And really that can begin with something as simple as educating yourself around the issue, knowing what the signs of somebody who has dementia are, and yeah, working to be more empathetic and understanding when somebody seems confused or seems lost.
Yeah,
That
this is
sounds
amazing.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Maxwell. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And you can read more of his reporting on the South Side at blockclubchicago.com and, of course, on Twitter at AfroDip. I love that handle.
He's a great reporter, and they do great
Yeah,
work
hey,
on Block Club.
Krista.
That's like primo Block Club stuff. Yeah, Krista, over to you.
Hey guys, all right, coming up, this next gal is pretty rad, if I do say so myself. We're chatting live with radio host and podcaster Tanya Rad. And if you aren't following us on social media, I'm taking personal offense, so you can do it right now, okay? Just search the Jam TV show and hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be right back after this.
She is a two-time winning People's Choice Award podcast host and can be heard in the mornings on air with Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, radio personality Tanya Rad is here. We've got congratulations in order. Congratulations on a third nomination after 2 wins. And I have listened to a couple episodes of Scrubbing In. You guys keep it so real. It's so chill and relaxed. And I imagine that's why it's successful.
You know, okay, first of all, thank you so much. The first year that we got nominated, we literally couldn't believe it because we looked at the category and it's just like stacked with all these celebrities. And we were like, how did our podcast get nominated amongst these A-listers? Like, we were shocked. But it's funny because it's like almost like a direct reflection of us as people, because I'm that person. Like, I'm so passionate about the things that I love that I would go on and I'd vote like a million times. So it just makes sense that like our Scrubbing In podcast listeners are the exact same way. So I am not shocked at all anymore. It's still so wild. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I mean, that's so amazing. What would you say is the key to doing something like this? Because I think a lot of people say they're going to do a podcast and they start off doing it and it may or may not end up as successful as yours. What's that nugget that you feel like people probably miss with it?
I think consistency is definitely key. I think a lot of people think that just doing a podcast is really easy because you can just do it from your home or you can just do it wherever. But I think consistency is key. And I think authenticity is key because we really, I mean, I will talk about everything under the sun. Like, I leave no stone unturned just because I think we can all relate, you know what I mean? Like, we all go through the same things. And so it kind of makes you feel less alone when you're listening to a podcast and the girl is talking about, I don't really, I probably can't say here because it's broadcast, but we just kind of dive into all things. We don't really, we don't really shy away from anything. And I think it helps people feel less alone, because I think we all, especially right now, we feel very alone and almost kind of like the things that we're going through, we're embarrassed to talk about, but it happens to all of us. So it's like, I'm going to stand up and say it,
Yeah, you've also interviewed some incredible people. You work alongside Ryan Seacrest. Who makes you want to pinch yourself the most when you get to chat with them?
Okay, so actually that Harry Styles event I have to tell you guys, I was so nervous because I've never met Harry before. I was such a fan. And I did this interview with him. And 2 hours go by and I get a phone call and it's Harry Styles called me from his manager's phone just to say, thank you so much for the great interview, the great conversation. I'm welcome to come to any of his shows. And I've never had that happen in my entire life. I've never had an artist actually reach out to me personally to say thank you. And I was like, that guy is just class act, unparalleled. I'm like a Harry Styles fan for life. And I tell that story forever because I just think that's so uncommon. I've never had that happen before.
Totally. I mean, and then you also have your Modern Woman brand. Tell us about that.
So it's funny, when I first started in the industry, one of the very first interviews that we did when I started the morning show on Air with Ryan Seacrest was Chelsea Handler. And she said something to me. She gave me a piece of advice. She said, don't be competitive. There's room for everyone. And when I started, women in the industry were it wasn't like a welcoming situation. And I kind of made it my point at that moment to be like, I want to change the culture as much as I can on my end. And I want to root for other women. I want us to all be together. Like, I want us to champion each other just because there's another female podcast. Like, I voted for other female podcasts for the People's Choice Awards because I'm a fan of theirs. So I'm like, I'm going to vote for you because I listen to your podcast. And if you guys win, that's great for all of us women podcasters. So it's kind of just been this movement, this thing that I've really been passionate about, just kind of bringing women together instead of pitting us against each other.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Clearly, you are doing a lot of great hard work, and then you're also putting a lot of good energy out there, too. It's going to all come back to you, girl. Thank you.
It is in so many ways. I'm very, 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 very grateful.
Yes, yes. Thanks for sharing. You can follow Tanya on Twitter as well as her Scrubbing In podcast. And for more information on her virtual live event this Thursday night, visit onlocationlive.com/Tanya Rad.
All right. Well, pray to whoever you want to and praise them because of this weather we have here in October. Crazy good weather. Even an 80 on Friday. Before that, though, a real nice day Thursday, which is great because there's a really cool event we're about to talk about involving Insurance Navy and the town of Cicero. They are teaming up to help some folks out with a great food drive on Thursday, and Krista Vivanco joins us from Insurance Navy. Welcome. I know this is really important for Insurance Navy for you guys to team up. Why is that?
Well, Insurance Navy has actually been a part of Cicero for over 11 years. And we knew the only way to really help the town was to go ahead, get involved with the town of Cicero and make things happen. So we knew this food drive would help a lot of the families that have been struggling through the pandemic. Insurance Navy is just, we're a broker's company and we partner with trusted companies to help people find affordable insurance. So we also wanted to help them in other ways.
Yeah, it just makes sense. And then during this time, everyone's got to kind of come together and help each other out. There's absolutely no shame in not knowing if you're able to make ends meet and it's able to help them out. So give us some of the details. It's Thursday. It's in the morning. Walk us through some of the who, what, where, when, how.
So first off, I just want to go ahead and thank the president of Cicero, Larry Dominic, because he's the one that really approved this and wanted to make things happen. Like I said, we take pride in helping out our community. So we're going to have it in the Cicero Community Park in the parking lot, and it's going to be a drive-through event. Because of the pandemic, we want to make sure that everyone's safe and that we'll be able to help as many people as possible without having a huge crowd. So it's going to be like a drive-through, and we're going to have over 45 volunteers ready with masks, gloves, hand sanitizers. We'll have extra masks just in case people coming don't have one, and we'll have the boxes ready.
And what's in the box?
So they're going to be non-perishable items. So rice, beans. We're also going to have some instant meals for people as well as salt. Other things in the box are going to include pasta, and we're also going to share some recipes you can make with the items in their box on our social media. So if any families want to get inspired, cook something new for family night dinner, they'll be able to know what to cook from what we gave them in the box.
Yeah, and that's just so great to give, to give a little roadmap to that sort of thing too, to help some people out. This just seems to align really well with Insurance Navy's values as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've really been a part of the community for so long. We've been expanding. And of course, we love to help everyone with affordable insurance. We know there's other ways to help. Also, a special shout out to the special events coordinator, Jeff Pisek. He also made sure that everyone in Cicero knew about the event. Everyone got involved. A lot of people that work for the town of Cicero are coming together to volunteer and be a part of what we're doing.
Cicero is a tight-knit community. Everyone in Cicero knows everyone in Cicero.
They really are. They're so lucky.
Well, it's great what you guys are doing. I applaud you and all your efforts. That is awesome stuff. Good luck. And again, one more time, Thursday morning, right?
Thursday from 9 to 12. We're going to have a lot of supplies, but I'm just going to go ahead and say while supplies last. But yeah, Insurance Navy in Cicero Community Park from 9 to 12. Be there. We're ready for you.
That's awesome stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
And there's that information. She said it right there, but just in case you didn't catch it, 9 a.m. to noon, there's the address to Insurance Navy Cicero Food Drive. All right, Chris, over to you.
Thanks, John. Great info. All right, guys, up next, spooky season. It's in full swing, and we are chatting with the CW's new show, Swamp Thing. They're talking to the stars. So don't move, or honestly, Swamp Thing might come after you, okay? We'll be right back after this. Mostly me. We are so pumped, and might I add, a little scared for the premiere of Swamp Thing tonight on CW26. Brandon Pope and I caught up with the stars, and they both have Chicago connections now. They love the city, and they miss a lot about it, especially the weather. But Virginia, she doesn't like one season so much.
Not the winter.
That's always the thing. That's always the thing.
We've got good in between seasons. The spring's good, the fall's good, and we all need to leave it winter.
I'm a Midwesterner. I grew up in Detroit, and something I've missed the most about that, and Chicago in particular, is the people. I really do think I love that it's a beautiful cosmopolitan city, and the architecture is so stunning, and the food and the culture, and yet the people have maintained the same, and that for me just makes me feel like home.
What a compliment. We love our Chicago peeps. Swamp Thing debuts tonight at 7 p.m. on CW26. Do not want to miss that. We'll be right back after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Amy Boyle. This is The Jam. That is John Hands, and that's Felicia Lawrence. Thanks so much for joining us.
Humbly obliged to be here. Hey guys, good news. You know how 2020 has been not so great. If you want to leave the planet, Mars, pretty close by tonight, guys. If you can jump 33 million miles, you're going to make it. Making a real pass close. And if you look to the sky around midnight, except probably in Chicago because of a lot of light pollution, Mars will be like extra visible. And with a telescope, it'll be bright red, kind of how the sun's lined up too. You know I love my space stuff. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, you'll get to pick your favorite place you want to go there if you ever get on it. You got the whole planet to yourself. So
awesome.
Do it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, just a little heads up.
Great. All right, guys. Well, 2 years ago, Chicago photographer Amy Boyle planned to celebrate her 50th birthday by finding fabulous women in our area who were changing the world. That one-year project is now 2 years and going strong. Amy Boyle, thank you so much for joining us. And explain to me a little bit about what you were looking for when you kind of set out on this journey.
Well, sure. Initially, it was just a simple question. What would happen if once a week we highlighted someone we knew or didn't know and shared their story of why they're phenomenal right now, today, not 5 years ago, not 10 years from now, and in the future. And with that, initially I had to kind of scour and go, hey, how about you? How about you? And then very quickly, people started nominating their friends, sisters, mothers, coworkers. And then even later into the project, people started self-nominating and raising their hands. It was very exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because I do find a lot of women have a hard time raising their hands and giving themselves some credit for what they do. And a lot of us do a lot of things.
That is true. And the thing of it is I think maybe one thing, who knew when I started the project, but through COVID, today really matters. And what you do today really matters. And who you are today really matters. And that was something that was a common thread from the very beginning of the project and is just seemed to mean more and more as we go forward.
So did you plan to stop at 1 year and then just kind of get back to what you were doing before? And then you just had so many? How did it keep going?
Yeah, well, initially, every person who participated was asked to donate something towards Dress for Success here in Chicago. It's a national organization, but Dress for Success in Chicago helps over 2,000 women a year get back on their feet or maybe secure their first jobs after a pause in their life and what have you. So by donating, we had this like great, I'll lift you up, I share my story and we help somebody else. And then after about week 30 of year one, a lot of people started saying, well, you can't possibly quit now. So it was this year that I turned 50. So I'm like, okay, well, if I took it to 2 full years, then I get there. So I'm like, all right, well, that'll be kind of cool. And so we did that. And at 100 weeks, I'm like, oh my gosh, we were able to do the last 22 weeks of the second year during like shutdown and everything else that's going on in the world, but still give a thread of positivity that we all needed.
Yeah, I feel like even now, more women that have stepped up more than ever because there's so much going on out there. And so now you're snowballing this into a podcast, correct?
That's correct. One thing in the beginning of the project, I was able to put out, I'm a photographer and I travel a fair amount, or I had. And so I could say, I'm going to be in New York, or I'm going to be in the Bahamas, or I'm going to be in LA, nominate someone for the project. And then COVID hit, and we should all be looking in our own backyards. In fact, I think by just having daily conversations with the phenomenal people that are around us every day, we're learning more. But I think we could dig a little deeper and maybe get to more of people's why behind their what makes you phenomenal right now.
Yeah, because I mean, we hear about all the front. Yeah, and I feel like we hear about all the frontline workers, and they're wonderful. But there are layers to that. There are the supporting people to those frontline workers who are doing like the little things that make a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are so many stories. Anytime you just take a chance to have a conversation and meet somebody. And certain things they might. What I found in the project is initially they might start off with the very surface level. Oh, this is phenomenal. And then we got to having a conversation and you realize, well, that is great, but it's that simple thing that you do every day that you don't pay attention to. that really makes you unique, that makes your difference in the world, and something to shine the light on.
Well, it's fabulous, and we all need uplifting stories during these times. So good luck with the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And for more info
Thank you.
or to submit someone for the project, log on to star52phenomenalwomen.com. Sorry, just 52phenomenalwomen.com, and at Amy Boyle Photography on Facebook and Instagram. John.
Okay, I got a story that I love, and it's because it involves history and voting. And this woman, who is 102 years old, she's a former Chicago public school teacher. Okay, she's 102. So she was born in the last pandemic. She's voted every year. And by the way, she was born before women could vote. And she's voted every year since 1940, which means she's voted twice in world wars. And she is still casting her ballots. And she's got the most 102-year-old name, too. Her name is Bee Lumpkin, which if I were to look at her, I'd be like, she looks like Bee Lumpkin. And she doesn't care about no COVID. She ain't afraid of it. She's got the mask on. She's doing all the proper things, and she's casting her vote by mail. And guess what? Her issues, healthcare, racism, and climate change. Bee Lumpkin for Human of the Year.
Yes,
Right?
hashtag be like bee. Everyone, be like bee. I mean, we all need to make this a priority, just in general, even outside of this huge election that's coming up. This needs to be a priority. And for a woman, to be, at least I identify as a woman of color, obviously, like how dare you not go to the polls when people fought and died for you to be able to have that right? I mean, what a slap in the face to those people, you know, who are hung, bitten by dogs, face indescribable poll taxes and poll tests. And so it's just do your job.
I will say this, Felicia, I'm with you on all the serious stuff, but the first thing I thought of when I saw that picture was like, wow, getting into that suit looked like a lot of work, to mention of getting done to the mailbox. Like, now they're going to be tired.
Yeah, that's how we got this picture. She was like, you're going to see me doing this.
Yeah, I didn't do this for nothing.
Awesome,
So
if
awesome.
only there was a way to get a resource and figure out how to vote. Oh, wait, we have one. CW26chicago.com. All you got to do there is register. So if you're confused on anything, we going to help you out.
Yes, we are. Well, the online retailer Fashion Nova is taking some heat over its release of a kids' clothing line. Let's go through this slowly, you guys, okay? It is dubbed Trendy Fits for the Stylish Kid. Okay, little black leggings, really cute. Then we got some parents, we got this one. Some parents are outraged that it over-sexualizes little girls, okay? The brand doesn't make boys' clothing yet. So right now we're just focusing on girls' clothing. Okay, I don't know if that top has straps.
It does.
Do you
I
guys
can see it
think
under
that
her
this
hair.
Oh, okay, good. Do you guys think this is too much? I mean, it's very trendy. For the record, I would wear all of these outfits. Why are you chuckling, John?
Well, she looks like so serious. Like, what problems does this little girl have? That looks like a woman who is on a power mission. She's got 3 jobs. She's got kids at home, and she is making it work. She just looked like you got to pay taxes. What's that serious look for?
Well, and I will say, so I looked at some of the other outfits. They have like a crop top and then like a handkerchief skirt for a little girl. They've got like little girls in like the pigtails with like jumpers and a tube top underneath it. And I don't think the outfits we showed right there are all that bad. And they had some really cute mommy and me stuff that I was like, well, the dress on mommy looks super sexy, but on the little girls, they cut it differently. So it wasn't that bad. But like some of them, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, and the brand's name kind of precedes it just because it is known as like sexy clothing, very stylish, very trendy clothing that I like. And so I don't know. I don't want my daughter even thinking that much of fashion. I don't want her to be like, oh, I can't mess up my outfit today. No, I want her to be a little girl. I want her to wear pigtails.
Yeah, have some Disney characters on.
When I look at that, it just makes me so scared of having kids. Like, first of all, if I have little girls, I'm gonna have no idea what to do. And I don't know what they're supposed to wear, what they're not supposed to wear. I'll just be like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Like, I don't care. I don't know, like, it seems like so many decisions you have to make, including what they gotta wear. This is not good.
I just have to say this, and this may not be politically correct, but I'm gonna say it anyway. As a mom of 3 boys, if a girl came home with my son and it was like one of his first girlfriends and he was one of those outfits, I would be like, nope, nope, nope. You look like trouble.
They were not that bad, Amy. They were not that bad.
She looked like a modern woman on her way to a work site. She's killing it
grown
in the
up for my
workplace.
little boy. Too grown up for any of my little boys.
Okay.
I would wear some of those things. What are you saying, Amy?
Yeah,
I think I've seen Felicia in that.
Right. I can totally see Felicia in that at her age, not at 5, maybe 6.
No, not 5 or 6. No.
That's what
I'm
these
so
girls are.
afraid.
Okay, we got to get on this.
So afraid.
All right.
Yeah.
Deanna.
Anyway, guys, it's a no for me. Regardless of the conversation, it is a no. But guys, we have to talk about this story, okay? A YouTuber's voter campaign drive, if you want to call it that, could end her up in jail. We'll have to talk about that after the break. The Jam will be right back. All right, everyone, I'm Diana Gutierrez with the news you need to know this evening. Hurricane Delta moves to a Category 4 storm targeting Cancun, Mexico. It's actually growing faster than any storm on record in the Atlantic. It's expected to weaken. However, it is expected to hit Louisiana's coast Friday into Saturday with damaging winds, flooding rain, and surging ocean water. The Wolf City police officer who allegedly shot and killed 31-year-old Jonathan Price is arrested on suspicion of murder. Witnesses say Price was breaking up a fight at the time of the shooting. The Department of Public Safety says Officer Sean Lucas fired his taser, then shot Price. Texas Rangers, who are investigating and taking over the investigation, say the officer's actions didn't seem objectionably reasonable. And President Donald Trump today paused negotiations on COVID-19 relief. That is until, of course, after the election. He says House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is not negotiating in good faith and actually wants Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to focus on the SCOTUS nominee, which is Amy Coney Barrett. And as soon as that news broke out, guys, the stocks fell, as we can imagine.
Dude. I am blown away. I think it's those steroids or whatever he's taking is messing with his mind, because this is a slam dunk. It's popular and people need it. Like, this is when a president rises to the occasion and helps bring people together. It's a slam dunk for Republicans. The fact that he's missing this and allowing Pelosi now to walk away or not walk away, but say, well, the president shut down the negotiations. Oh my God, so dumb.
Oh, it's not only dumb, it's also a slap in the face to the hardworking Americans and the business owners, the small business owners that he says he's going to be help. They don't need relief after the election. They need it right now. They need it right now. And he's president right now, which means he's responsible for doing everything in his power to make sure that they get that support.
And as a man who watches the markets every second of the day, did he not expect them to tank the second this happened, which is stupid for his presidency and getting the economy back on track? Like, that was just the dumbest announcements. Even if he didn't want it to happen, let him fight it out and keep the veil there. Like, that was so dumb because he had to have known what was going to happen. I kind of agree with you, John. And I wonder, is it the medication he's on that's making bad decisions?
I don't know, but he could have kept his weave clean if he just didn't go into that thing and just let them do it to themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to say, I didn't expect it. You know, basically, he's a president that has made economy his top priority, and now everything is kind of tanking. But we have to talk about this other story. Okay, check this out. One YouTuber may have broken U.S. electoral law. 22-year-old Tanya Mango said she would be offering free nudes in exchange of her followers proving that they voted for Joe Biden. And this is actually hashtagged booty for Biden. She has since deleted the post, and she said, of course you don't need her nudes, to, make a change in this world. But I mean, come on.
I wonder why she deleted the post.
Right. Like,
could have violated the law.
Because it's wrong in all aspects.
You could get in trouble for that, Felicia. But booty for Biden, by the way, is a great hashtag. Amazing.
It is. I got my attention.
Yeah.
Look,
and she's
support
just trying
whatever
to make
candidate
change.
you want to support. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Any way she knows how. Can we just, give the girl a slow clap for putting her?
No, we're not cutting her some slack. You don't do that. No, absolutely not.
Why
no
not?
cutting
Why
slack.
not?
That's crazy. John
Use
Hanson.
the talents that the Lord gave you,
Thank you.
to do
He
what
only
you got
gives
to
with
do.
one hand.
Yeah.
I do think it got a lot of people's attention. You may or may not be on the more conservative side, and it might be in your eyes a little distasteful, but it got a lot of people's attention, and there are going to be some people who are not as in tune or who may not be voting. So, hey, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you get a point for creativity. Whatever.
Yeah. Or it could be booty for Biden. It could be the trunk for Trump. And I've got a behind, I don't know, the Green Party probably likes mine or something. I don't know.
Green Party's like, we never get included in anything.
Yeah, they also didn't get a rhyming hashtag.
Right?
Yeah, no, they sure didn't. I couldn't think of that alliteration quick. All right, Dee, thanks so much. All right, quick break. As we go to break, a gorgeous shot from the Royal Sonesta Chicago Riverfront camera. Chris has got more from the stars of the CW Swamp Thing after the break.
There is something in the water, and this CW Swamp Thing promises to be an authentic representation of the DC comic. Now, the show's stars, Virginia Madsen and Crystal Reed, pretty much guaranteed you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
How spooky is it? Is it like turn off the lights or keep them on spooky?
I think it's keep them on and hold someone's hand kind of spooky. It's not, it's like, it's suspenseful too, which is what I love about it. It's not, there isn't those, you know, those manufactured kind of cheap scare tactics. It's really about that we build a lot of the suspense, and the score and the music and the way it's shot feels really awesome. And in the opening pilot, there's a shot where the camera, our cinematographer rigged the camera to the door so it pulls open with the door handle, and there's something I've never seen before, and I was like, whoa, that's so smart, and stuff that you're not seeing nowadays. So I think I think it's terrifying.
Yeah, but also this show is like, it's got enough scares for everybody who loves the genre. It's got enough of the original Swamp Thing hero, but it also has humanity and a beautiful love story, and which Crystal's character will reveal much more than I will, because I hate her.
I'm curious, now that you guys have actually been working in the swamp, does it make you more or less brave when you're out there exploring, and you know, you might see something a little creepy in a forest or outside? Is it just, has it helped your outdoor exploration at all, or has it made you a little bit more scared to check that stuff out?
It sort of taps into our sense of adventure and escapism, which people need right now, without being a really sad drama, you know. I think we need some fun. I think we need some Halloween fun, and this story has that, you know, has something for everyone.
I'm ready to turn the lights off and find someone's hand to hold during that. Swamp Thing debuts tonight at 7 p.m. on CW 26.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Oh yeah, bust out the Chianti. And you want to sleep in Buffalo Bill's basement? Yeah. The fictional killer's home from Silence of the Lambs is on the market in Pennsylvania for about $298,000. The home still has several of the iconic faces used in that award-winning film, but not the hole in the basement with the basket or the lotion. It's been a functioning home since the 1991 movie debuted. But if you look at the pictures that are out there, it's crazy, because the train tracks, then they shoot Buffalo Bill's house, all still there, looks exactly the same. Creepy.
Whoever wrote this lotion not included graphic deserves a raise. So I need to talk to the managers, because that's great. I would do it. And by the way, Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie of all time. I don't know if you guys know that. It's such a great thriller.
It's a good movie.
But if we're picking homes of horror movies to live in, I would rather go with the house in The Shining. Big mansion in the mountains. Like, that's where I'm going. If you got to pick a scary house, that's the one I want.
I'm with you on that one, John Hanson.
So I when I first heard this, I was like, no, oh no, I could not. And then I said, wait a second, how much is it? Oh.
Like, that's not bad.
So no, not $300,000 for spooky. I cannot.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, you ain't paying.
I'm
for that.
over
We'll be
here
right
shaking
back.
my head this whole
We gotta
time. You
go.
guys are
We'll be right back.
crazy.
I know.
Right.
I don't do any of that.
Hey, a part of the show where we go deep on a topic or we dish about ourselves. You guys, time for Deep Dish.
Yeah, and if you know a man in your life that has a sexy deep voice, beware, because he could be a cheater. Yeah. Researchers have recently found more masculine sounding men were more likely to engage in infidelity than more feminine men. So, like on a biological note, when you think about it, lower voices did indicate higher testosterone levels. And also, it's like the male dominance thing, like the lower voice means I can take over the territory.
Wait, why's Brandon here?
Yeah. Speak, Brandon, speak. Oh, his mic's
Oh, no.
off.
Is he muted?
Yes.
There we go. Hello, ladies. Hello. Hello.
Oh,
That's
man.
kind of how
you can't come back from that. You can't come back from the story that we did, that we literally brought you in for your voice, and you forgot to turn your mic on. You lose. Have a great day, everyone.
But it's good voice, Brandon. Good voice.
Stay classy.